Hey guys, it's Jeremiah with StoneBlueAirlines. We're out here today doing the Scherrer UHF review. Got iBcrazy is working on some crazy stuff in the background. We've got some fun tests here. So we're going to be checking out all the FPV frequencies, and Alex has got some, I don't know what he's got up his sleeve. So let's go talk to him and we'll see what the plan is officially to test this system out.
Hey guys, it's iBcrazy, and this is test number 1 of the Thomas Scherrer LRS test, the noise floor test. What we're going to do is see how much interference this system creates on 1.3 and 2.3 gigahertz video. In order to do that, we're going to have this thing turned on and live near this video monitor with a system set up on it, on an Omni, and I'm going to fly this airplane. Why this airplane? Well, it's had better days, and this test, it's a good chance I'll lose video completely and smash it into something. This is over 100 wrecks on it, and it'll live to fight another day. But what I'm doing to make this thing work well is I've got a 30 dB attenuator on a 400 milliwatt transmitter. And what that's going to do is it's going to cut our signal strength to less than half of a milliwatt. So, of course, that's going to really cut my range to almost nothing. So I'm going to be receiving it on my ground station here on a helical so I can see it to fly. Now I'll be over the hill about 400 to 500 feet away, and I'm going to make a pass over top of this station, and then I'm going to go back out over myself out towards the roadway and then turn back and land, and we're going to change the channel. We're going to try all 4 channels in this test: 2305, 2396, 2410, 2430. And we will see if the Scherrer has any noise on those bands. After this, we'll change over to a 1.3 gigahertz system and repeat the same test. Of course, the first run will be dry with no system on at all to see how far this will actually go at a half a milliwatt on Omnis. So with that, let's fly.
This is Mark. We found him in the woods. He was hunting and we thought we'd bring him in for this test. No. All right, so here's what we're gonna do. iBcrazy is like way down over here, like he already explained. Mark is going to go ahead and trigger the Scherrer system on and off as we do the frequency test. So we're going to do a clean test, then he's going to trigger the Scherrer system on, and we'll see if we get an effect. So that's where we're at now. Let's go ahead and take a look at the screen. All right, so here's what kind of video we've got right now.
0.005.
Yeah, we're at what, a half a milliwatt?
Like 0.005 watts.
0.005 watts of power. And yes, Alex is going to fly on a video signal that looks like that. All right, so as Alex is coming over top, we're gonna get nice clear video for just a little while. Again, we are on 1/2 of a watt of transmit power.
No, half a milliwatt.
Oh, half a milliwatt, sorry, half a milliwatt. So he is getting farther and farther away from us. He's heading out, I would say about, what would you say, about a half mile away?
Quarter.
Quarter?
Yeah.
All right, quarter mile. Well, he didn't go all the way to the road.
Of course, he's also breaking line of sight. He crashed.
Oh, and he's down. Well, it looks like the first test went really, really well. So, Alex, what do you think?
I'm guessing that transmitting at a half a milliwatt is no bueno.
Something like that. Maybe we'll try like 2 milliwatts.
Probably a good idea.
All right, Alex, so we are round 2.
Yeah, this time maybe 2 milliwatts. 400 or some microwatts. Just wasn't enough power, especially when you fly behind a row of trees. So we're gonna do this at 2 milliwatts.
All right, so here we are, take 2.
This time we've upped the power from half a milliwatt to a whole 2 milliwatts. I think we're gonna have a lot better luck this time.
Me too, let's see what happens. All right, so as Alex makes his pass over top of us, we're gonna have nice clear video. As he makes his way out towards the roadway, we're gonna start to lose video here. This is our official test flight. So this is clean, Scherrer is not on. Now Alex is about halfway from us, so we're gonna lose video as he gets farther away, but he's still got video because he's in between where we are and where the plane is. We go full loss of signal. We hope he's still flying. Oh, yes he is. All right, so Mark is gonna go ahead and get Scherrer ready. And as the plane comes back over us, we're gonna go ahead and power up Scherrer and see what happens to our big video signal here. Got it nice back clear again. Scherrer is on. Scherrer is officially on. We are going to place Scherrer right next to our receiver. We're We're not seeing any interference. Now as we get away, let's go ahead and see what happens. We're gonna still keep it close by, see if we lose signal any quicker. Looks to be about as consistent as it was. Actually, maybe getting better video. Yep, losing it about the same spot. Mark, you see any difference?
It's about the same.
Yeah, I'd say
except for before he kind of violated the Fresnel zone a little bit.
Yeah, I'd say
it's about the same.
Yeah, I would say it's the same here. All right, we are going to land and we're going to test our next frequency. So this is our next test. We are on what frequency now?
2430.
2430. All right, we'll see what 2430 does. Clean and then with Scherrer. All right, here we go. Clean run. Alex is coming right over top. Same pass that we did before. See a little bit of the plane in the background. Slowly melting into the distance. And we're starting to lose video. About at the same spot again, I would say, on this frequency too. All right, so he's making his approach back. Once he gets within viewing range, we're going to go ahead and power up Scherrer once again. All right, are you ready with Scherrer?
Yeah, we're ready. Just waiting for him to
All
go
right.
on top of us. Scherrer is on.
Scherrer is on. No visible. Maybe a few,
bit.
just a
Very
teeny
small.
little blips right there. I mean, we were right on that antenna. Little interference, just a little bit there. I wouldn't say again it's negligible. Pull it away, see if we get anything different.
He's Fresnel zone violated.
Yeah. All right, I would say, I mean, that I saw just a hair, but I mean,
Yeah,
that was
really small amount.
negligible amount. So this is official test 3, technically 4 if you count the failure, but we don't look at it as a failure, as a, just a way to learn. All right, so what are we on frequency-wise again, Mark?
Now we're down on 2305.
2305. All right, let's see what happens on a clean run and with Scherrer. And for those wondering, yes, he is launching with goggles down. All right, here comes Alex to the passover for the clean run. There goes the Spectre. After the clean run, we are ready for test with Scherrer.
Scherrer's on.
Scherrer is on. Again, with it sitting right next to our receiving antenna, just a hair.
Yeah.
Again, just a little bit.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, that's we're getting a little bit on this one. Again, no one's typically going to be flying and jamming their transmitter right against their antenna, but again, this is something to take note of. Very little interference, but there is some. Yeah, it's very, it's, again, a very small, well.
I'm going to try something.
Let's see.
Scherrer's off. Video
He's
went
out
away.
close.
I know, but the lines went
Yeah.
away.
All right, here we are, test 4, or officially test 5 after the crash. Clean run. And what is our frequency?
This is 2396.
2396. Nice clean video. Of course, we are right over ourselves. You can see Alex in the bottom corner of the video right there, that thing that looks like a Sasquatch. Well, it's interesting, actually, even on this band, cleaner video all the way out. There we go, a little loss out here. This is a strong signal to fly on, period. Making our way back, and then we'll test it with Scherrer. All right, Scherrer is
Scherrer's on.
powered up. There you go, Scherrer's on. Very little on that.
It's there.
Uh-huh, yeah, let's see it.
But again, nobody's going to do what I'm doing with it.
It's on 2 milliwatts. 2 milliwatts. Transmit power for the plane. All you guys who think you need tons of power on your plane to fly, it shows you really don't need a lot. And you don't want to be putting Scherrer next to it if you're flying this low, but it's got a little interference on this band too. And that should conclude our 2-4 frequencies, so we're going to move over to 1-2 and see what we get on that. And Mark, go ahead and give us a little breakdown on what we saw here on the video and what kind of we're experiencing here in a real-world flight environment.
Yeah, basically with the area we're in, we're getting hammered pretty hard with some Wi-Fi stuff on the 2.4. So the first 2 tests we did on 2410 and 2430, they were kind of iffy with the Wi-Fi. Didn't see much interference from the Scherrer on those. Everything pretty much stayed level across the playing field with that. When we shifted down to 2305 and 2396, you could see that the Wi-Fi interference wasn't there, and Scherrer did actually have a very, very small amount of interference that it would interject into 2396 and a little bit more at 2305. But I was touching the antennas together, so you're not going to be doing that when you fly. So I mean, other than the Wi-Fi, I'd say it was pretty fair and clean test.
And you're running such, I mean, we're running such low power that, I mean, it's such a negligible.
We're running 2 milliwatts. Most everybody is going to be running, 200 milliwatts plus, and we're just running 2. So I mean, you're 100 times to anywhere up to 400 times more powerful in most cases than what you're running compared to what we were doing.
Great.
So the reality is, you're not going to see that interference until you get 30, 40 miles out. So it did really well against 2.4.
Yeah, great system so far. All right, let's see what happens on our next test.
All right, so there was a 2.3 gigahertz test. Now we're going to go with 1.3 gigahertz. Now this time I replaced the 30 dB attenuator. So I'm back down to about 400 microwatts, so a little less than half a milliwatt. There are a few reasons for this. One, 1.3 gigahertz travels a lot further than 2.4 gigahertz due to the lower frequency. And two, in my satchel is a 10 dB crosshair antenna. So I'm going to have a much stronger signal strength. So with that, let's see how it goes.
All right, so here we go. Test flight on 1280. We are on, what, 400 milliwatts? Doing a flight
400 microwatts.
400 microwatts. Very low power here. Nice and clear over top of us. We should definitely see drop off quite a bit quicker based on the low power output here. So this is with Scherrer off. All right, so we should have video back here probably any second. And as we get a little bit closer here, we're gonna go ahead and power up Scherrer and see what happens. Right over top of us, coming over. Let's go ahead and power up Scherrer.
Here it comes.
Scherrer's on. Saw that blip.
Yep.
Saw that blip when Scherrer powered up.
That's just clean.
But go ahead and move it in real quick. Yeah, no major interference. This is 1280 with Scherrer on. Up close and personal with Scherrer. All right, that actually looked really good. All right, so we're going to set it down, change our frequency, and put it back in the air. All right, here we are on 1258, no Scherrer. Nice clean signal as Alex passes over. We are on 400 microwatts. Spectre's heading out, passing Alex. Start to lose video here. He should be making his way back, and we'll test it with Scherrer on. All right, I think Alex is finally coming back. And it really has gotten cold outside. When we started this test, it was like 80 degrees. It's now 12 below. All right, here we go. Scherrer is coming on.
Scherrer's on.
Scherrer's officially on, 1258. Alex is right over top. Wow, it really does seem to be shielded quite well. Go back in again. Yeah, a little bit there. I mean, when you're right on the antenna. But again, it's such low power.
Oh, it's interfering. If you're
yeah,
50
it does.
miles away.
Right. Again, on such low power, yeah, the Scherrer looks to be pretty clean. Hey guys, it's Jeremiah, StoneBlueAirlines, and this is part 2. We're in Alex Greaves' laboratory. Laboratory, I like that better. We're going to be doing the testing, brownout test on the Scherrer UHF system. We're going to test Scherrer out, and then we're going to throw a few other things on since this is kind of a new test and we didn't get to this one in the long-range shootout. So let's see what Alex has got up his sleeve. All right, Alex, tell us what we got.
All right, what this is it's a very simple timing circuit. To test the brownout, this wire is really sensitive. All I do is I touch that wire and it powers down the system. This little potentiometer here regulates the amount of time that it powers down. So now that I turned it up, you can tell after a while it comes back and the Scherrer comes back on. But if I turn it the other way, red LED light shows how long the brownout is actually lasting. See, that's very momentary. Scherrer comes back pretty quick. This is a longer brownout, so The first brownout was 1/10 of a second. That one was 1/2 a second. So what we're doing here is we're just testing to see how long it takes to brown out the Scherrer before it loses signal. And if you have a 0 voltage for even 1/10 of a second, it goes and resets itself. Now luckily it looks like the system comes back within about a second, so you've got about a second of lost control if you have a brownout. Well, that's really going to stink if your airplane's really low to the ground, because a second without control is enough to crash it. But if you're at long range, I probably wouldn't worry about it. However, we have found something very, very, very disturbing. Over here, what you're seeing, this is the output pulse from the Scherrer system on my oscilloscope. Over here, you're going to see this is a digital voltmeter. And when we were playing with this, we found out the Scherrer wasn't playing real well with this industrial power supply. So I ended up going over to my do-it-yourself power supply. And the do-it-yourself power supply, being a little bit more robust, seemed to have fixed the problem. But here's the problem that we've got. Well, if you look over here, I'm going to brown the Scherrer out completely. And as you can see, the signal does come back. But here's the problem. Watch what happens when I get it down to about 2 volts. You can see it's still there, still there, still there. Coming down, coming down, coming down. And about 2 to 2.1, we lose our signal. That's not bad, but here's the problem. What happens when we take it back? Where's your signal? The Scherrer is still, it's showing no signal at all. That's dangerous. But here's another thing. If I take this down to, now if I take it back down, I have to bring it back up, and I take it back down to about 2.5 volts, boom, our signal comes back. Move the sticks. No response. So we do have a signal, but we have no response.
So we're dealing with a full brownout, seems to immediately come back within about 1 second, regain control, but it's the partial brownout.
Yeah, unless if your system drops down to 2 to 2.1 volts, it's gone. It's gone. Your airplane is gone. Your helicopter is gone. It's never coming back. That's very, very dangerous. On the other hand, we can still see we have no response here, but if I give it a brownout completely, it comes back. So what it comes down to is there's a very dangerous voltage with this system. If it comes down to 2 to 2.1 volts, but not below, it's gone. And this happens frequently. If you have high power servos that cause surges, it's gone. Now what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to try to put a memory holding capacitor on this to see if I can fix the problem. No guarantees, but at least it's a try, because honestly, like this, I wouldn't fly it. After the disturbing findings with the full range receiver and the low voltage problem, we decided to see if how the normal range receiver performed as far as the brownout problem, and unfortunately it appears it's worse. There might not be a way to fix it. We'll see. Just to illustrate the problem here, what Mark's doing is he's showing a changing of servo position, and watch what happens. Again, I'm going to bring my voltage down slowly, but as you can see, the system has still working even though the voltage is reducing. It's still trying to drive that servo. But now, at about 2 volts, we have nothing. But let's say your airplane recovers, and we still don't have a signal back. But if I brown it out, it comes back, and it works. The thing about the full range receiver is this had a range of about 1.8 to 2.1 volts where this would happen. If you fell below that or above that when you had a voltage surge, it would come back. This one, let's see what happens when I drop it down to about a volt, somewhere between a volt and a volt and a half. Let's get it right. Well, that dropped down to 0.9 at one point. Bring it back up, and still not coming back. All right, so we've seen the low voltage brownout problem, where you have to take the voltage all the way out. You have to have a complete dropout for the system to come back. But what you might be thinking is, what does this look like in real life? Would this actually happen? Well, I'm going to simulate this and show you exactly how this will happen in flight. What we've got here is I've got my servo on channel 2 and my recorder on channel 3, and I've got the radio set up for Elevon mixing. So as the servo moves, you're going to also see the servo pulse change. And as you can see the servo move, and you can see my voltage is fluctuating a little bit. Well, okay, now it's making a liar. There we go. Now it's going to make a liar out of me. The voltage fluctuates a little bit as the servo moves. So what happens if you get up to high speed and say put a load on the servo like this? He's still working the controls, but we have no response. Brown it out, comes back. Put a load on it, gone. Back on the oscilloscope, nothing. Brown it out, and it comes back. So, in other words, this is likely to happen when the servos are at high tension. In other words, when your airplane is at high speed. So, looks like I'll be discussing some possible solutions with Thomas Scherrer, because I'll be honest with you guys, this is a no-go. I wouldn't fly this as it is. So let's find ourselves a fix. Okay guys, it looks like we've got another receiver to test with the PSU, or power supply unit, which appears to be nothing more than a giant capacitor alongside the bus. Apparently Thomas Scherrer knew about the problem with the reduced voltage, and they put a capacitor across the servo leads to keep the voltage from dropping down so far. Decent fix, but in my opinion it needs to go over the IC chip inside so it holds its memory rather than worrying about the servos, because you still will have the problem if the voltage drops that low. However, it just takes more work for it to drop to that point. So it's kind of a bandage fix over the problem. Is it going to work? It helps. It's better than nothing, but there's some other fixes I'd like to see implemented. Unfortunately, I can't test this because it was dead on arrival. I can't get any power or anything to it, and we didn't bring the other one with us today, so we'll have to test another day. Instead, we're going to test some other LRS systems to see if they too have this problem. What we have is the OpenLRS and we have the RangeLink, so let's see how they do. So now I've got Mark's RangeLink here, and we're going to play with this a little bit. Let's move the servo a little bit. Okay, it's a little bit jerky. As you can see, the voltage is jumping around quite a bit. And if you look at the oscilloscope, okay, so what's happening? How about if I completely brown it out? Comes right back. Not bad. Because we have the issue with the servo surging, what happens if I start dropping the voltage? Okay, let's stop moving this. Let's see when that drops out. Very unstable at 4.5 volts. And pretty much gone at 4. So where the Scherrer holds up to down to about 2.1, 2.2, looks like the RangeLink is dropping out at about 4.2. The nice thing is, when the RangeLink drops out, you get it back. So the RangeLink, though it drops out sooner, the instant the voltage recovers, you've got your airplane back. These surges usually last for less than 1/8 of a second. So I don't really see a problem here. Let's try the OpenLRS. Now we have the OpenLRS Hawkeye receiver. And again, we're going to do the brownout test on this. So how long does it take to recover from a brownout? And does it have the problem where it locks up at certain voltages? So let's do the quick brownout test. About a second and you get the signal back. Not bad. Not bad at all, absolutely. Let's test this a little bit more accurately. About a second and signal comes back. Looking at that. So without touching the controls, power off. Maybe a little over a second. Alright, now we're going to test to see about browning out. Alright, now let's see what time it drops out. Go. Yeah, let go of the controls. Hit it again. Looks like it does.
Full lockout.
Full lockout. You got nothing. We're in fail safe. So it looks like the OpenLRS does indeed, at least the Hawkeye, has that problem. We did inevitably get a full lockout. Not sure what voltage that happened. Alright, now let's see what time it drops out. 4.3, still going down. Not bad, not bad. Holding. 2.8, we're out. Do we have control?
Yep.
Okay, well we lost it at 2.8. Let's see if we can do it again. Come down, 2.9, we still have it. Let's go down to 2.6 or so and bring it back. Nope, was not able to replicate it. Let's take it down a little further to 2.5. And we get it back. Let's plug the servo back in and see if it happens again. Start lowering the voltage slowly. We get the lockout? No. It can happen, but apparently I'm having a very hard time replicating it. So the problem does exist somewhere in the OpenLRS, at least the Hawkeye, but I'm having a hard time replicating it. So let's try the Flytron unit and see what it looks like. Flytron OpenLRS receiver. Again, checking the brownout problem. Let's see how long it takes for it to recover for this thing to recover a brownout. Go into the oscilloscope. Ooh, a little bit longer than the Hawkeye. Almost 2 seconds. Not bad, but certainly not something you want to happen. So now we'll try the voltage surge problem. Let's reduce our voltage a touch and move the controls back and forth. See if you can't get a jam up problem. Go ahead. See if you
It's jammed.
But it's recovering. Let it go. See if it recovers. And it recovered. Okay. Let's try it again.
It only recovers for one stick movement.
Ah, okay.
Kind of almost like what we were experiencing in the long range test, where it would just kind of.
Right. Well, okay, so we weren't able to get this thing to brown completely out. Let's see what voltage it can get to before it totally loses signal. Let's bring it down. Still working. Still working. There it's at. 2.9 volts or so. So it drops out a little bit before the Scherrer, later than the range link. But I believe we have full control of it again. Let's try taking it down to around 1 volt or so. Well, there's 2 volts and bring it back up. Do we get it back? We get it back. Remember taking it down to 1 volt. There's 1 volt, bringing it back up. And we get it back. Okay, so not able to replicate a brownout problem. So definitely, as long as your system stays above 3 volts, you're okay. If you lose it for more, if it goes below about 2.8 or so volts, it's going to be about 2 seconds before you regain control of the airplane. But you will regain control. Now that we've got a working Scherrer long-range system with the power supply unit, we're going to see how it performs for the brownout test. Again, same system, showing our voltage, and on our oscilloscope over here. Alright, let's see what point, at what voltage it powers down. We're going to disconnect the servo so we can get this out of the system and just see at what voltage it doesn't recover. Okay, 4, coming down, coming down.
Glitch.
Okay, it's getting a little glitchy.
Gone.
Gone. At 2.1, it is gone. Let's bring it back up. Okay, we didn't get it back at all. Alright, let's bring it back down. Oh, there it comes. See, hey, 2.5 volts, it's back. Bring it back up to 5 volts, and we get a lockout. Okay, that's strange. Let's bring it back down to...
There it is.
Okay. Okay. Apparently, once you get down to 2 volts or so, if it comes, it'll come back as long as you're below 2.5 or 2.6 volts. Let's continue to bring this down.
Gone.
Okay, so it's totally gone at 2.0. And okay, 2.8, and it's back at 2.0. That is very strange, but okay. Let's power it all the way down and bring it back. Okay, so if we drop to 2 volts or so in a brownout, it's not coming back, same as the other one without the PSU. So let's see what it takes to do that. All right, so now we're going to test the amount of time that the power supply unit on the Scherrer receiver can actually hold voltage with only one servo sitting at idle. And what I've got is a timeout circuit. When I hit this wire and its current setting, I am going to lose power for 20 microseconds, and therefore the PSU is going to supply the receiver and this servo for 20 microseconds on its own. This is showing maybe a weak connection in your system or a very long wire on your BEC. Of course, we're not working the servo, so let's see if the servo works. Servo is working. All right. When I touch this wire, it will brown out. This LED will show you the length of time for the brownout. Okay. Do we still have it? Okay, we still have it. Let's try one more time. And we still have it. Okay, now I'm going to increase this to 40 milliseconds. Okay. We still have it. Gone. So the power supply unit is capable of holding voltage for the receiver and a single servo for at most 40 microseconds. Let's see what it does with two servos. Of course, going to power it down. Power it back up. Okay, back to 20 microseconds. That's 20 thousandths of a second on two servos. And we're gone. Servos work. 20 microsecond blip. Still have it. Try it again. Still have it. Let's turn this up to 30. Okay, this is 30 microseconds. And we're gone. So about 30, 32 microseconds. This is what this cable is capable of holding two servos not in motion. I think I need to have a discussion about this. I think a good fix for this problem would be instead to move this capacitor over to the chip memory rather than on the servo supply bus. We've been in communication with Scherrer about this problem. Apparently the PSU system has it too. Okay, now for the voltage drop test. Let's see how well the Scherrer performs as you drop voltage. Still going. 3.6, very good. 3.0. Okay, we're getting a little glitchy at 2.5 volts. Not bad. 2.4, and we still have control. Okay, 2.1 volts, we are out. Let's bring it back up. And we have a lockout. Let's bring it back down. Okay, looks like it comes back at 2.5 volts. So we can bring it back up.
Lockout.
And we are now in fail-safe again. So the same issues that we saw with the unit without the PSU exists in the unit with the PSU. You drop down 2 volts or below, you're going to hit the point of no return where it locks out and you're not getting the signal back ever. That's very dangerous. The way around that is simply to put a large capacity BEC and very short wires from the BEC to the receiver. A good rule of thumb, 1 servo, 1 amp. So if your BEC is capable of 3 amps, don't run any more than 3 servos. 5 servos, 5 amp BEC. Also, keep the lead from the BEC to the receiver less than 6 inches. More than that is going to incur more voltage drops. So the shorter the leads from the BEC to the receiver, the better it's going to be able to supply power. So a final wrap up of what we were testing. This system is only capable of 1.1 amp surge, running 1 servo. So what we were simulating is 3 servos with a standard 3 amp BEC, but in order to monitor this a little bit easier, we simply scaled it back to try to find this kind of problem. Of course, the solution to this problem is run a more capable BEC and short wires to hold the voltage higher. Now we compared this to the RangeLink and the OpenLRS. The difference between the Scherrer and those systems is the Scherrer was able to get down to a much lower voltage before it had a brownout. However, with the RangeLink and the OpenLRS, when you do have a brownout, the voltage will recover and you get the system back in approximately half to 3/4 of a second. With the Scherrer system, if it's out, you're gone and you have no ability to recover that airplane. Now, mind you, we're also running very weak Park Flyer servos. When we tested this Hobby King 929 MG servo, we couldn't even get that thing to power up because the surge current in this servo is so high, it pulls about 1.5 to 2 amps just to power it up. So, you know, if you're running junk servos, the probability of this problem is much higher. I've been in communication with Danish Aviation Systems. They are going to repeat these tests. My suggestion to them was simply put a memory hold capacitor on the microchip inside, which would eliminate the problem completely. We'll see if they take the suggestion or what they come up with. The video's not over, so we'll see what else happens. Okay guys, that concludes test number 2. Test number 3, we'll put this system in the air and see what it can really do.
All right, well here we are with test number 3 for the Scherrer long range system test. This is the in-band noise level test, and wouldn't you know, we've got a lot of in-band noise without turning anything on. Turns out there are a couple transmission towers around here that are frequency hopping, that are putting a good bit of noise on the band. So in light of that, we're going to make a test. We're going to fly an airplane out on low power, and I'm going to take my antenna and I'm going to put it out of polarization. And then Jeremiah and Mark are going to turn on other long-range radio systems, and we'll see if I can maintain control of the airplane with them running full power in polarization with my plane and mine being out of polarization. This is going to simulate the airplane at long range flying around some type of tower in-band noise. It'll also let us know whether the Scherrer is capable of flying with other LRS systems. So hoping I don't lose my plane on this one. Got my airplane ready to go, well, as much as I can. I've got my Scherrer system. Calm down there, buddy. Got my Scherrer system on low power. I said behave. Give it. Got my LRS system on low power. Got my Chimera ready to go. Hopefully it comes back. Now I've got a field back here. I'm going to go out over the far field. It's about a mile, maybe a mile and a half back there. And then Mark's going to start flipping on radios, and we'll see if I can retain control of the airplane. I'm going to run this not only at low power, but out of polarization. I've only got one antenna hooked up here, so the diversity isn't going to help me. Like I said, I'm trying to harm this system. It's still well within the range of the LRS, even with one antenna, but we're trying to hurt it today. So, well, I hope this one comes back, because that autopilot isn't behaving today.
Mark is set up with the radios here to go ahead and blip when Alex calls for it. Alex, how far out are you now?
Looks like a little over a mile. I just got to make sure I'm over a field, got plenty of altitude, because this is going to be a manual controlled flight back.
Okay.
Looks like I'm okay if I go spiraling in. Let me get my bearings. Mark, are you ready?
Waiting on you.
Okay, let's try and shoot her down. I'm out of polarization.
Radio's coming on.
Go.
This is Scherrer on high power. You're hitting
low,
it with.
yeah. Okay, I'm on low power.
You're on low power. We're hitting it with high power.
All right, go to the next one.
Scherrer's off.
No, keep it on. Keep it on.
You want to keep them both on?
Keep them both on. Yeah. Let's try it. We're trying to shoot this thing down. Let's shoot it. I've got 800 feet to play with.
OpenLRS 1 watt on.
So we're.
Initial power up was a little bit concerning, but I still have it. So let's get a little bit further out.
So we've got Scherrer on full power, OpenLRS on 1 watt, full power.
Yeah, now I'm getting glitched. You go ahead and shut one down, guys. Shut her down, both of them. I have lost control of the aircraft. There it is. Nope. There it is. Okay, got her back. Woohoo! Brown pants moment. Only lost 150 feet, but gosh, that was a long 150 feet. Oh, whew. All right, let's see if that was both are off?
Both are off.
Both are off.
Okay, let's see if that's going to happen again with them both off. We'll do the same test. Ooh, pucker factor there, buddy.
All right, so we're bringing the aircraft back. Alex is after a little scary
I am
no
shaking
control
right now. I expected to get with both radios off
you know, I expected to get back control immediately. It took a good 2 seconds. It felt like more like 20. But I mean, it's coming back. We lost 150 feet in a spiral, still had 600 to play with. So I wasn't able to replicate the same thing like this, which is out of polarization. So it definitely was getting shot down by the noise floor of other LRSs. Mark, which one was on first?
I turned on the our other Scherrer first.
We had Scherrer on first.
OpenLRS blipping on, and then shortly thereafter it
Right.
went out.
Right.
All right, I think I've got my nerves back. I'm way higher than I should be, so I'm gonna come in on an off-power dive. Let's do the same test at close range now that we're over this field.
Okay.
Can you see the airplane? See if you can zoom in on that plane. All right, I went ahead and dropped this thing back out. Whew, okay, it's definitely getting knocked out by other LRS. Thank you, Mark, for hitting the kill switch fast enough. I think we're done here. This is a little bit more sensitive to other LRS systems than I want it to be. My nerves are about shot, so I'm going to come in for a landing. So
Wow.
I think our testing here is done.
All right, bring her in for a landing, and
Yeah,
let's.
it definitely took both LRS to take it out, not just one.
Yeah.
All right, so obviously I got my plane back in one piece after getting my control knocked out several times. I'll be honest with you, I expected the system to perform much better. I mean, granted, at range, out of polarization, I did expect to lose it, but you know, I didn't gain control back for 2 to 3 seconds after the other radios were on for the thing to lock back up, and that scared me. But I came in close, repeated the test in polarization, so I had full signal strength at close range. Turned on the other two radios, and control was intermittent. It went out, it came back, and then it went out. I had, I'd say I'll lose control about 5 to 10% of the time in flight. Not impressed at all. I was hoping for better. We're going to do the same test. We've got an OpenLRS here, so we'll see what the OpenLRS from Flytron does to this stuff. All right, this is Jeremiah's plane, so it's his turn to sacrifice his plane.
Why are we doing this test again? Okay, all right.
All right, well, tell him what we're going to do, Jeremiah.
All right, so we're going to test it on OpenLRS. I've got the Flytron system, the same system we think that might have shot down the Scherrer. So we're going to go ahead and reverse and see what happens when Scherrers returning the favor.
And you remember the LRS shootout? It was the most susceptible to RF noise, so I'm thinking we might be able to shoot it down, but we'll see.
Well, I've got
We'll
return to home on this, so hopefully it'll work. So let's get in the air and we'll
Let's
see what
hope we
happens.
don't need it. All right, Jeremiah, I was testing at 400 feet, so make your climb up to around 400.
Okay.
That should give you enough margin. Maybe 500 feet would be a little safer.
All right, I'm at 400.
You ready?
Yep.
Okay, we're going to turn on the OpenLRS first. And I am in polarization, running full power.
No issues.
All right, your LRS is telling it.
Yeah,
it's
it doesn't
detected.
like it, but
Ready for the Scherrer here?
yep, go for it.
Gosh, it's getting...
It definitely doesn't like it.
Well, neither did Scherrer, obviously.
I'm still climbing altitude, still have control.
All right, keep playing with it. It took Scherrer about 10 to 15 seconds before I noticed my first lock.
Lay your antenna all the way flat, Jeremiah.
Oh, you're out of polarization. I was in.
There we go. Hey, where's that aircraft?
He's
You're
back
clear.
to your east.
Sounds pretty loud
Come
up
back
there.
left.
Yeah, you're clear. You're nowhere near him.
Okay.
You got it. That, he's up about 3,000 feet.
Oh, okay. All right. I'm only at 500.
Still nothing?
Still nothing. No dropout.
And you're out of polarization. Put it in polarization. Put your thing right upright as much as you can, comfortably.
Upright.
All right. Let's try that.
It's beeping like crazy.
Well, that's the weak signal detection.
Right.
So we know that works.
My RSSI is like 0, 100, 0, 100.
I'll be honest with you, I like that feature. Now that I know that it works, I'm updating the latest firmware.
Yeah.
There's no way. That's awesome. Still nothing?
Still nothing. I mean, I'm flying almost hands off.
Yeah, I'm giving it. I mean, I can't give it any more interference.
Yeah.
Oh, come on.
Nothing.
I'm blasting signal right at it. I can't take it down. I think that, I mean, I'm trying. Putting 100% of the strength at it, I can't take it out. I think that answers our question, Jeremiah.
Yeah, it seems,
Let's see if it quits chirping. Okay, the Scherrer is the only one on. Scherrer!
Yep. Yep.
Okay.
Calm down.
Go ahead and land it.
Came right across.
Well, I wasn't able to shoot down the Flytron OpenLRS with Jeremiah flying, but we sure were able to shoot down the Scherrer full range. So we're going to try the light, see if see how that does.
Yep. And we also tried the notch filter. I've been having issues on my ground station with it knocking my video out on 1280.
Yeah, the notch filter doesn't seem to be helping it,
Yeah,
so it's emitting some harmonics out of the case.
All right, let's get this in the air and we'll see if this one can get knocked down.
All right. Much better. What do you want, Scherrer?
Yeah, let's go with Scherrer.
Scherrer. Make sure, I'm gonna wait till you come back around.
Okay.
All right, going on. Scherrer is
Okay.
now on.
Yep, hit my video.
Well, let me get out of the way of your video. Scherrer is on. Are you okay?
Yep, seem to be okay. I mean, I'm getting buffeted around, but I don't...
Flytron is now on. Be warned. It takes you...
Definitely hit my video. Yeah, I'm getting like spikes on the video right now.
On the video?
Yep.
My body, here, I'll put my body between the... Are you on high power or low power on that Scherrer?
Oh, I'm probably on high on mine.
Put it down to low. It'll help you off the video.
Hold on.
I'll get it.
Is it on low?
It's on low.
It's on low now?
Yep.
Oh, now I'm not getting hit.
Good,
Okay.
all right.
Okay.
Anything?
No, I'm better now.
I'm blasting.
No,
Power.
I lost, hold on. Yeah, I lost video again for a second. No control issues.
None?
No.
Hang on, let's take you out of polarization.
Yeah. Just tell me if there's a problem because I gotta shut these down quick.
Yeah. No, I mean, I'm rolling it left to right and I'm not having any
Come
issues.
back around.
Back over the farm. Coming back to us. There we go, put stabilizer on. Oh, that smoothed it out. Wow. Yeah, I mean, I've got a lot of spurs in the video, but
Nothing?
no, I have full
I'm
control.
blasting Full power in polarization. Woo! Nice roll. You mean to do that?
Yeah,
That's pretty wild.
it's got a lot of snap.
Oh yeah, I'll say that rolled quick. All right, I think that's.
Yeah, I mean, we definitely didn't lose anything on this one.
No, it's just the one. It's a normal range. It's the only one that's got problems. Go ahead and bring it in when ready.
All right. No.
One of my guys just broke his wrist the other day on one of those things. All right, so that was the light receiver. I shot everything I could at it, how to handle it.
I didn't have any issues, not one dropout that I could tell. I mean, I didn't even have a glitch.
Yeah,
so.
we even put your antenna out of polarization.
I've flown this light receiver for quite some time on this plane now, and I personally haven't had any problems flying it. Now, did find out on low power, I don't have as much of an issue, of course, on 1280. On mid or high, I start getting knockouts.
Yeah, you only
on
have a
my
100
video.
milliwatt transmitter, but we, I know I can get one of those things to 12 miles in a low noise floor, so it's,
Yeah.
I guess it's not as clean as the one mine when we tested earlier, so.
Yeah, it's interesting. The light honestly really did quite well, so.
Yeah, well, okay, so it's just the diversity receiver we're having problems with.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, so do we have anything else left to test?
Oh yeah.
We got more stuff.
We've got a few
All right,
more
more
tests
to
to go.
do.
Now for the ultimate range test of the Thomas Scherrer LRS system. And after yesterday's fiasco where I nearly sent my airplane to a spiraling death, I'm thinking this one's better off done on the ground. So to do that, all I've got is an attenuated receiver. What I've done is I've modified the normal range receiver here with an SMA. I got rid of the cheap wire antenna and put an SMA female port on it, and then of course I've got this attenuator stack. I've got a 30 dB, a 15 dB, and then a 6 dB attenuator, followed by a dipole, a proper dipole antenna. Now what I'm doing here is I am attenuating the receive signal simply because we don't know what the noise floor is here, and we want to be sure the radio is the loudest thing it can hear, because we want to know how sensitive this is. Because if the noise floor shuts it out, then we really haven't done an accurate test. So what we're going to do is every 6 dB is double range. So all we simply do is take these, the addition of all these attenuators, divide by 6, and multiply that number by the number we come out to at the end of this range test, and that will be the absolute maximum limit of this system. So with that, I'm just going to go for a long walk. All right, I've got my radio set up, ready to go. I've got my airplane simulating a tree landing, and I'm going to go walk all the way out there, and we'll see how far I get before I lose signal. Something tells me it's going to be a long walk.
Am I on speaker?
Yeah, you're on speaker. Yeah, still got you.
Oh, well, it's a nice day for a walk, right?
Yeah, right. Well, it looks like I'm going to be walking shortly because apparently I left the camera sitting on while I've been tinkering on stuff, and now the battery's running low. I'm like one thing after the other. Well, there Alex is, slowly marching away from us, and we still have control on the aircraft. Hey, if you get to the grocery store, can I give you a list?
Yeah, I'll pick some milk and cookies for you.
All right, Alex is really, really far away now. I am barely able to pick him up on the full zoom. Alex, say hello on the phone.
Yeah, I'm here.
All right.
I guess I'm here my exercise today. Good thing it's a nice day. Are we still moving?
Yeah, hang on a second, let me check it. Nope, we're down.
All right. Looks like we just lost weight. Let's go to high power and see if we get back. There's full power.
Yeah, full power. Came back. Throttle.
Back.
Throttle.
Let's go down to low power again. Going low power.
Nope. Out.
No? All right. It looks like we found the end of it. Let's refire signal to pinpoint it.
Yeah.
Moving?
No. Yeah, now it's back.
All right. Low power?
Low power. Yeah, we're back. So Alex is way out there. Okay, yeah, you're a long ways away. All right.
I'm going to come back, and I think that's it. Now I'm on my way back.
Made it 1,150 feet away before we lost contact with the aircraft with a 6, a 15, and a 30 dB attenuator on the normal range receiver. So to translate where this actually gets you to, is that would be the attenuation is 2 to the 8.5 power in terms of range. Doing the math, that puts you at 79 miles capability on low power. Congratulations, Scherrer. You've impressed me on this one. So if you find yourself out 75 miles, you might want to just throw that switch to mid power and maybe even think about turning around and coming home. That's a long flight. So, and that's the normal range receiver with the SMA hack. So now let's see what the full range receiver compares to. Okay, we've seen that this normal range receiver can do 79 miles. 79 miles, as if that were normal range, on low power. And now we got to test the diversity system, the long range receiver. Now here's the thing, I don't have attenuators that fit MCX, so what we're going to do is we're going to call this a baseline at 79 miles, and we're going to see how far we can get without any antenna on it, and then we're going to try it with the diversity without any antenna on it, and just say that's the difference between the diversity full range and the normal range, whatever that factor might be. And something tells me I'm going to go for another long walk.
All right, so Alex is out in the field. This is the Scherrer light receiver, and let's see exactly where he is. My guesstimate is he's about half the distance Maybe not. Yeah, about half the distance that we made it before. So, oh, looks like we're starting to get something back here. So, we completely lost it about half the distance here, and he's going to make his way back, and we'll go ahead and start switching the systems out and move on to the next one. Right about now, I'd like to cue the Sound of Music soundtrack. All right, so you made it out about 500 feet.
Approximately. We're using it as a baseline, so
Okay.
it was 187 steps. And now I'm going to hook up the long-range receiver here, if I can find the pins. And we'll see if I can get any further. Looks like I've got everything hooked up. Time for another walk. 187 paces before. I wonder what this guy will do. No antennas.
Okay.
So we got 79 miles with normal range receiver, and now I'm getting 187 paces. So let's see what this compares to see if this is indeed a longer range system, and by how much. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Guys, we do this test so you don't have to. Actually, right now, I really don't want to even be doing this test. Let's see how this thing does. I assume we're going to get a hair farther. I hope so. So let's see what ends up happening.
Back to 216.
Alright guys, we have found the range. Here we're out. Control. There's Alex quite a bit farther. So what do you think?
Well, 216 paces, that's 20% further, 21% further than the normal range. That's almost 100 miles on stock dipoles running low power.
That's impressive.
So, oh yeah. So Scherrer definitely leading the way on absolute distance. I'll be honest with you, I'd like to see an airplane capable of going 100 miles, turning around and coming back. So
Wait, is that a challenge? No.
that's for somebody else, not me.
Yeah, right.
Not in these mountains with a
Yeah,
high-powered
right,
transmitter
right,
surrounding us. So
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, we got one more test.
All right.
Crush this thing with noise. We're going to put a high-powered transmitter right up next to it and see how well it fends that off. So that's for another day.
All right, let's get out of here.
All right, our final test. We're back at the field where we did the original LRS testing, except no motorcycle this time. We'll use the airplane. I got my plane set up, ready to go. I've got a Ruby autopilot on it, and we are going to test the outside of band noise level test. In other words, what we're going to do is we're going to fly this FPV with the 400 milliwatt video transmitter out on the wing where it's supposed to be. And I'm going to use a little bit of attenuation on the radio, but not much, just to make sure I retain signal. Once we get out there, we're going to test loiter capability of the airplane, be sure everything works. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to shut the radio down, take the antenna off, and put 30 dB worth of attenuation on top of it. This will drop the transmit power down to 125 microwatts, or approximately that of your key fob that unlocks your car door. And then we're going to take it out until it gets a fail-safe again, and it should go into loiter mode. Now I do have low and high power modes available on the radio to get it back. And what we're going to do is we're going to recover the plane, bring it back home, land it, and then what we're going to do is we're going to put a high power 1 watt video transmitter right on top of the Scherrer and see what that does to our range. With hope, it won't affect where the thing goes into failsafe, but if it does, we'll know approximately what separation does to a Scherrer system. And with that, oh gosh, I hope I don't lose this one.
Yeah, we picked the best days.
Okay.
Oh, the commentary on this video is going to be ridiculous. We got her?
Yeah.
Low power?
Low power.
All right, let's come back home. All right, no effect. Good noise filtering. Excellent noise filtering, if anything. I mean, very, very good. I'm happy. That I'm very happy with.
All right.
Okay,
We'll see.
let's try this again. We know we had intermittent control out here the first time, so let's get her to a safe area, and then we'll just put the attenuator on. Do you have it arrive in my back pocket?
No, you have it.
It's in my back pocket, so that's fine.
Yeah.
Let's get her where we had problems, away from the roadway, away from those trees, hopefully. Okay, coming back in now. We had a problem right here before.
Yeah.
So loiter, let's make sure we're in loiter. I've got full signal strength. 400
We're
feet.
low power on Scherrer.
Should I get a little more altitude? Probably ought to get
Yeah,
a little
I would say
more
so.
altitude. Whoops, turn the radio off. Wrong switch. Hold on, let's see if it gets signal back. Now I can take manual controls. Wrong switch.
How do you keep going for the
I
power
don't
switch?
know. I never hit the power switch ever. I'm like, oh yeah.
Only on this radio, you're always.
I hate this. This is the second time I've done that.
All right.
Okay, all right. Okay, here we are at 600 feet. That's better. Coming back towards us over the area we last had a problem. Entering loiter. Radio's going off. Signal is down. Plane is...
See it? Yep.
Well, it's gliding. It's giving me guff. Let's make sure I'm not going to get over those houses here. There's a field back there. I don't care if I go down the field. There's two fields. Make sure the loiter is tight.
We still holding altitude?
Yeah, we're holding altitude. All right. Here.
Okay.
Take that.
All right.
See if we can gain it back. Okay, put it on.
Okay. Flat.
We're low power.
We're low power.
And we're flat.
Yep.
Okay, going back.
Hold on.
Signal strength is back on the radio. Let's leave it in loiter and just let it do its thing. Maybe I'll just take it back manually.
It is drifting because it's harder for me to see again.
It's not behaving. So,
oh, there it is.
No, we're out. Okay, go ahead and take this thing off. Take the attenuator off. It's okay. I'll get it back soon enough. It is definitely drifting.
Okay.
But still well within visual range. And I can always hit RTH too and shut the radio off if I had to once we're here.
Okay, you're on.
Flat?
Yep.
Alright. Alright, let's come back on.
Powered up. You're in manual mode.
Yeah, coming back on.
Okay. Got control again?
Oh yeah, I got full control now.
Okay.
Alright, well that was really short. Let's bring it in tight closer.
Yeah, see
And do the same thing. Still got some battery on her.
Okay.
So.
That
We
was
know
a 30 dB.
Yeah, it's intermittent at best over this near field. That's actually really, I expected better, but we could have a high noise floor today. But let's get it real close to us because we're going to need to put the higher power transmitter on it. It's already drifting away.
Yeah.
You got some winds up there. It's all right. We there?
All right, yeah, 30 dB
Flat.
back on, flat.
We are in loiter mode, engage, and we still have a signal. Not good, but intermittent. Let's see if we can't bring it closer to us. Nothing. Went back into loiter.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I'm putting in loiter on its own now. Okay, let's take the attenuator off. Yeah, it's certainly a battery alert, so put that on and we'll bring her back home.
Okay.
Yeah, it certainly does not do well with noise.
All right, as we wrap up this video, wow, which is almost like a series in itself. We've been working on this for a while.
3-4 months?
Yeah.
Gosh.
So today we were out at a great little location, not a whole lot of houses and stuff around us to do some testing that was good because we had some moments.
Moments? You mean
Yeah,
four
yeah,
crashes? Right. 4 crashes and at least 3 times that I wondered if I hadn't changed my pants.
All right, so...
Oh no, never again am I doing that. At least not with a performance airplane.
Gosh.
Oh gosh, yeah, especially no testing with performance airplanes anymore. Stable airplanes that when you lose signal, they just keep going.
So we've been working on this plane for a while. We got Ruby OSD with also the return to home feature, and we wanted to be able to put it in loiter mode so that we could test it in the air. Of course, I needed to be doing some stuff, so we don't have a bunch of footage of that. Plus, it was a little overcast today, so it's kind of hard to see the plane.
Not to mention the 20-mile-an-hour winds made
Yes.
the microphone not so great. So what we ended up doing is we started at 125 microwatts and realized that was no good. We actually switched to 0.5 milliwatt on transmit. And we just ran the plane like a normal FPV plane, 400 milliwatt transmitter down here. And we lost signal while it was intermittent at about 600, 700 feet away,
Right.
which might have indicated a high noise floor, but that we needed a baseline. And then I put a 1 watt transmitter, well, 900 milliwatts actually, right on top of this guy and did the same flight And again, intermittent control at 600 to 700 feet, flip the switch over to high power and had it back. Was able to climb, get it loitering above my head, pull out the attenuator, throw the right antenna back on, and was able to successfully land the aircraft. So for the most part, I'd say it does a very good job of filtering out the out-of-band noise. It does excellent. I mean, we blasted it.
Yeah.
And we found that on the other test, remember. We blasted it and it took it. So it's definitely done a job.
Yeah, we had a video transmitter sitting on top of it, literally right on top.
Yeah, and we also 1 watt. We were blasting power at it. I was also using a very low gain antenna, driving the signal right into it. Didn't see a difference. I mean, it really held its own.
Yeah,
So I'm impressed.
performed well. So we've got the antenna set up. You put the attenuators on. We put it in loiter mode, and then we're sitting monkeying with these as it's in the air and trying to spot it. So yeah, it was fun. Needless to say,
Thank
that's why
God
we
for loiter.
couldn't run the camera and do that test at the same time. So the test went well. It was.
Yeah. You know what's wild? We crashed the plane twice, and neither time was it due to autopilot.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
And I'll tell you what, that one crash, boom.
Yeah, I think I think we, during this whole video, we have picked the windiest days, the coldest days. We've had really bad weather here throughout this whole video trying to get this thing done. So
yeah, but we got it. We got it, and thankfully the airplane came back in one piece.
So that was our final test. So now we just want to kind of wrap up just really kind of everything that we just did. Just kind of put it in a chunk and, you know.
As an overview, we'll give you the good, the bad, and the ugly of the system. A couple of things that I found were excellent. First, the last test we did, which was the out-of-band noise test, video noise test, this Scherrer did beyond better than I expected. It didn't even show signs of having struggle with the out-of-band noise.
Right.
So it did really well there. The ultimate range test, just that blew my mind. And you know, if the ultimate range test would have been, some people had mentioned, you know, it might be a filtration problem that allows you to get that kind of range without an antenna. Well, obviously that's not the problem.
Right,
You put a 1 watt right on top of it, so it's not filtration.
Yeah.
So it's sensitive, yet it can hear a very, very faint signal. So that's good.
Now we didn't really get to do a full-on official range test. Everything's set up like a normal flight. That is going to come in a separate video, so look for that one coming up next.
Yeah.
We're going to actually put Scherrer to the test, without putting it to the test, I should say. We're just going to fly it like an actual aircraft.
Yeah, stop testing, just fly it.
Stop testing, have some fun, and we're going to go for a long-range mission with Scherrer and see what we run into.
Okay, now the another good thing is this thing will operate down to 3 volts. Yeah, we were actually able to get it to run down to 2.5, but that's where the ugly comes into play.
Yeah.
But down to 3 volts, where most systems reset at about 4.1, 4.2 volts. The OpenLRS was to hold it down to 3.8, so you can take more of a voltage surge on this guy than any other system. But that's not the only thing we found out about with this. The bad, we found spurs and harmonics. My unit, this one we've got here, we were finding was spurring off seemingly random emissions. So every once in a while the video would go and then it'd come back, and it'd flicker and it'd come back.
Yeah.
And we found this would happen at relatively close range, but then again, it's intermittent, and it wouldn't black the whole video out, so you could see through it. Just a minor irritation. But on the other hand, Jeremiah, what was happening with yours?
Now I'm on 1.3, so I have had actually quite a lot of issues. It seems that your transmitter is not as bad as mine. So mine is putting something out that this one is not.
Yeah, harmonics. And the filter didn't fix it, did it?
No, the filter didn't fix it, and I don't have another one yet to test on top of that other than yours to see if anything else has changed. But literally the other day I made the mistake of flying on medium power.
Oops.
I didn't know it was on medium power. We get the plane in the air. I am with Jason, and I've got no video. He's got no video. And then we realized after we landed, I was on medium power. It just shut me down. Anything above low power for me, I'm toast. If I am near my satchel, I literally have to body block myself to fly with it. Low power, I'm not too bad, but anything above and beyond that, I mean, I'm pretty much toast.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, and without, because the filter didn't work, we know it comes out of the case. So it's not like you can put a low pass filter and fix it.
Yeah.
So it's possible he got a bad unit. My unit didn't have that problem. You could sort of see it, but you had to be right on top of his satchel for it to be a problem. It could be a bad unit. We don't know. I mean, we got two right from Scherrer and just randomly grabbed them, so it might be a quality issue.
Right.
One might have slipped through.
Well, like we saw with Dragon Link, it was almost essentially doing what we had
That's
seen
exactly
in the other
what
test
it's doing.
with my unit. So now I've also been flying on it. I have some hours on it. If I fly it in low power, and I've kind of learned how to hold the radio, which is kind of annoying, it works. I mean, I haven't really had any issues with it, but that's not nice to fly and accidentally hit medium power and be like, crap, I don't have any video now.
Yeah, and then the ugly guys.
Yeah.
All right. There have been multiple instances of this, and apparently the problem is not yet fixed. What happens if this unit drops below 2.5 volts, say on a surge, you're in a high-speed turn or something and the servos are stressed out, and it's really a problem with digital servos where the voltage sags. You get below 2.5 volts unless you drop all the way down to 1 volt or less, which is unlikely. It's your system, you're never getting your plane back. It's gone. Just write that thing off and hope you see where it crashed. We took the voltage down to 2 volts and then brought it back up, and there was no signal. It wouldn't reacquire signal. It just locked up. It wouldn't even go into fail-safe.
I mean, you basically would. Would it drop in though to a return to home, but you could never regain?
No. It wouldn't drop into a return to home.
Oh, that's right.
Remember,
Yeah.
it didn't even engage fail-safe.
Yeah, that's right.
Guys, that is the fatal flaw. And we've got a couple of bandage fixes for it by putting a capacitor on it, which helps extend the amount of time you can drop down to that voltage. But you absolutely need a high power BEC, very close to this, if you're going to fly it, because I don't know how much money you'll have in your airplane considering the cost of this system. You probably have some pretty nice stuff, and I really wouldn't.
Yeah, I mean,
trust
you're not park flying with this.
No, you're not park flying, so. You need a good BEC, and like I said, if you have digital servos, make sure you get that BEC, a very short lead, to power this system, because if it goes out, guys, there is no recovery from that, and that's all she wrote. I mean, do not pass go, do not collect $200, you're done.
Yeah.
So
I mean, now with our next flight, which we will do a actual long range flight on this stuff, we're going to see what it does in an actual normal flying environment and just fly the plane, and we're going to see what it's going to do out there without us fiddling with it. Just let it do what it's going to do. But that is definitely disconcerting. Now, the light receiver.
The light receiver, on the other hand, there was a discrepancy between the diversity and the light. And this, I put this under the ugly simply because the diversity has a very nasty problem. When we try to take out the signal with another LRS, the diversity, well, we took that out with no problem.
Right,
I mean, really, now when we got the plane in close, it would be intermittent. I'd lose control for about 2 seconds, 1.5 to 2 seconds, plenty of time for me to, plenty of pucker factor. Yeah. Every 30 to 45 seconds, and then I'd get control back as it was hopping over. What was happening was instead of monitoring both antenna systems at the same time, it simply was saying, okay, my noise is too much. I'm going to jump over to the side where there's no antenna. And of course, there's no signal there at all, and resulting in total loss of control of the airplane. And the system had to go back through its check to see, oh, my noise floor is too high. Let's change back over. Now, at distance, guess what? That's it. If you have a damaged antenna, that's it. You go out of polarization, that's it. It's going to immediately go to, when it goes to the other antenna, guess what? It's still going to have the same problem. It's terrible. On the other hand, light receiver. No problem. Now, granted, I modded it with an SMA connector, put a proper antenna on it, but we couldn't get it to lock itself out. So as strange as
that's a solid receiver right there.
As strange as this is going to seem, my recommendation is to go with the light receiver, put an SMA jack on it, and a real dipole antenna. So if you're going to run this, buy the cheap receiver. I think it's better.
Yeah.
It's got less problems. It's less prone to interference, less prone to error. Go with the light. Go with the light, and the SMA jacks are $2-3, and they're quite easy to replace. It only took me, what, 20 seconds to pull that
And
antenna?
that little segment we'll have as a separate segment, just so you guys know how to do that fix.
Yeah, I'll show you how to do the modifications, adding the capacitors for filtration and to fix the power surge, and how to put an SMA jack on the light receiver. But overall, if I would use this, I would only use the light. I would put the capacitor on for filtration. But I got to be honest with you guys, I'm not really impressed with it, at least not for the price point. It is definitely a nice feeling, nice looking system.
Now, where does it fall? I was thinking about this from our last test. Where does it fall against the last version of Scherrer?
Honestly, I like the last version better.
I know,
really
I thought
did.
we had a few less issues with that.
Oh yeah, of course. Then again, our testing wasn't as in depth.
Right. This was just a focus test on Scherrer. So we did. I mean, we put Scherrer under the frying pan.
Yeah, we really grilled it, but yeah, unfortunately, it cooked pretty easily. So, you know, stacking up, I do like the earlier revs better. They seem to be a little bit more robust. But stacking against up on other LRS, I'll be honest with you, I'm going to use the Flytron OpenLRS that I've been using for years. It's to me, it's safer. On the other hand, that's not exactly a plug-and-play system. So
they're definitely a different system. This system is pretty straightforward. It is easy to set up. It's pretty easy to bind. You know, overall, I mean, it's a well-made system.
It's not bad. It's just, in my opinion, it's overpriced. On the other hand, Danish Aviation has been in contact with me, and they hear about the problems and they want to know how to fix them.
Right.
So something tells me they're going to fix the issues. And that's on a positive note. Every issue that we saw, I bet you they're going to fix.
Well, and in the last video, we haven't run it, but we hear Dragon Link has made also some fixes too on their last go around. So
yes,
we won't even go. We won't even go there. So the good part is they know everything that's going on in the test,
and they appear to be ready to fix it.
Yeah. So you know, again, guys, it's a hobby that is constantly changing, and they're open to make tweaks as need be. Yeah. I'm excited to just actually get out and fly the thing and really see if we run into any issues. I've had some more hours with this. We've done testing. Yes, we have definitely kicked its butt.
Yeah, and I'll be honest with you, I've never seen a company respond the way Danish Aviation has. Yeah. In its current form, I mean, I wouldn't say it's bad, but then again, I wouldn't recommend it. On the other hand, once Danish Aviation gets done with it, I'd probably going to be one of the best performers.
Oh yeah,
they just have to
make a couple little tweaks, and then the hacks that Alex has got. I mean, those little mods are great if you've got the system. And I will say personally, on even the light, again, I've flown the light on one of my planes with just the little.
What did we say the range on that was? 38 miles or something stupid?
Yeah.
I mean, there's something ridiculous.
It's great. Really,
normal
that light,
range.
I mean, heck, that light is just, it's great. It doesn't take any space.
It's wonderful.
So.
So, you know, for the most part, needs a couple tweaks, but not terrible.
Yeah.
Not terrible. A little disappointing, but I think Danish Aviation is going to have the fixes in place shortly, and they'll have a real winner. Just not yet.
So, are you ready for another long-range system shootout?
Oh God, no.
Yeah, I don't think so.
No, we'll do one at a time.
Maybe. All right, I think, yeah. All right, so Easy UHF, don't contact us.
No, please.
All right, guys, thanks for watching. We'll have some wrap-up video on the mod coming up, and then also look for the long-range flight where we're going to do what should be hopefully an epic mission. We've got some stuff in the works. So, guys, thanks for watching this episode. Alex?
Keep your wings in the sky, guys.
All right, we'll see you next time. That was good.
That was good. In fact, we barely need to cut that.
Yeah,
I would post it like that because it gets a full.